In this video, we will be looking at, we'll call this lesson 0.3, and we're going to call it Characteristics of Functions. And our essential question is, what are some characteristics of functions? We have two different types of characteristics that we'll be looking at today. And we've used some of these words already in class. So we've heard these words, but now it's time to give them some formal definitions and start kind of using them more formally. So the first idea we're going to be looking at is increasing, decreasing, and constant. So the main thing when we're talking about these three things is we want to read the graph from left to right, and we're only going to use x values. We're not even going to look at the y values when we're talking about where is it increasing, where is it decreasing, where is it constant. Only looking at x values. So let's give these ideas some definitions. Increasing, where the graph goes up. Decreasing is where the graph goes down. And constant is where the graph is flat. So increasing is where the graph goes up, decreasing is where the graph goes down, and constant is where the graph is flat. So let's look at an example of this and see if we can match some of these ideas with our graph. So I'm going to draw a graph. Like so. Let's add some values in. If it's helpful, you can always label your points that seem the most important. That's going to be all these points right here. So this is negative 2, 0. This is 3, 1. Right here we have, oop, got that backwards, 1, 3. Sorry about that. So this is 1, 3. And this is 3, 1. And then our last point would be 6, 1. Okay, so let's see if we can identify some of these places. So increasing, I'm using I and C for increasing. And we're always going to only use our x values. So it's going to look just like our domain every time. Less than x, less than. So increasing, where is the graph going up? Tell me the x value where it starts and where the x value ends, where the graph is going up. So it's going up on this part right here from left to right. I'm reading it, so it's going up. And then I'm starting at negative 2, and then I stop going up when I reach 1, because I'm only looking at x values. So negative 2 to 1. Decreasing is where we're only looking where it goes down. And again, I'm only looking at the x values. So let's find that place where it's going down, where it looks like it's going down right here. I'm going to use just my x values. Where does it start going down, and where does it finish going down? So I'm starting at 1, and then I finish at 3. So we're going to go from 1 to 3. So increasing going up from negative 2 to 1. It's going up from when x is negative 2 to when x is 1. Decreasing when we're going down from when x is 1 and we go down until x is 3. And our last one will be constant. And again, we're only looking at our x values. So where is it flat? Tell me the x value where it begins being flat and where it ends being flat. Just looking at my x values. And we get 3 and 6. The next idea, so that's how we can find increasing, decreasing, and our constant part of our graphs. The next idea I want to talk about is absolute maximum and minimum. So we're talking about a maximum point and a minimum point. So the absolute max is the highest point on the graph. So using our above graph right here, which point is the highest point on the graph? Well, right here. So that's our max. So we would say the highest point on the graph. And for this particular one, we would say it's 1, 3. And our absolute minimum is going to be just the opposite idea. I'm looking for the lowest point on the graph. So I'm going to call that the absolute min. Min being short for minimum. And that's the lowest point on the graph. And let's look at our graph again. Which point is the lowest point on my graph? These 2 points are in line. We know this is our highest point, so our lowest points can be this point right here. That is the lowest point on the graph, and so we'll label it as negative 2, 0. And that's how we can find the absolute maximum and the absolute minimum. So we can find our increasing, our zone where it's increasing, where the graph is going up, our zone where it's decreasing, where the graph is going down, and our zone where it's constant, where the graph is flat. And then we can talk about a maximum point, the highest point on the graph, and we can talk about a minimum point, the lowest point on the graph. And those are some of a few of the characteristics that we can talk about when we're looking at graphs. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.